フィオナ騎士団が一番よりディルムット参る。まだ終わりではない。ケイジャルグケイボー。フィオナ騎士団が一番よりディルムット。
そんじゃ上げていこうか。
Fate's Grand Order is a game in which any servant is usable. Despite their low rarity, the 1, 2, and particularly 3-star cohorts boast an impressive array of heroic spirits. While many of these will eventually find themselves outclassed in terms of pure stats and sheer raw power, many of them have excellent skills or fulfill specific niches that will see them retain their value long after your Chaldea has been graced by multiple gold servants. These are the 3-star superstars. While not as lauded or remembered as his Fate's Stay Night counterpart, Chulainn prototype is an excellent budget Lancer who has potential to act as an early game DPS Lancer option with a powerful boss-killing Noble Phantasm, before settling into a niche, albeit valuable role, as an anti-wild beast specialist. Chulainn prototype offers a solid early option as a Lancer DPS, through both his Noble Phantasm and critical damage potential. His Noble Phantasm, Gayborg, is a powerful single-target Noble Phantasm that does significant damage against archers and berserker boss-level enemies, hitting over 70,000 without the use of buffs. Like the infamous spear of his Fate's Stay Night counterpart, his variation also inflicts a defensive debuff upon the target post-damage, and has the potential to cause instant death, especially against bronze enemies, making him a great option to take down bronze mooks with high health. But where he really sets himself apart from potential single-target damage-dealing Lancer alternatives, such as the other Hu or even Diarmid, is that he brings with him solid critical damage potential. His first skill, Rune Spell, gives him a solid self-critical damage buff of up to 45%, while his third skill, post-rank up, increases his critical star gather rate. This not only means that he can do some solid critical damage, he also has the ability to attract the stars that allow him to do it. Not only this, but both effects last for 3 turns, ensuring that he can do consistent damage as well. Of course, similar to the other boss killer free-to-play Lancers, he is a fairly mediocre star generator, and so will need support in that area. All of this damage potential is amplified when Hu is used alongside Skatar Skadi. Skadi both increases Gayborg's boss-killing potential, as well as the power of Hu's criticals on his 2 quick cards. This makes his Noble Phantasm far more effective and really makes up for the lack of buff it has received since the game's inception. While in the long term, more effective damage dealers are likely to supplant him as a primary DPS option, and his version of Gayborg does fall off compared to his Fate's Stay Night counterpart, owing to that lack of a buff. The damage potential of his Noble Phantasm, once it's combined with his critical buffs, allow him to become a solid and versatile early game DPS Lancer option. Notwithstanding his early DPS potential, Proto-Hu establishes his long-term utility through his other niche, that of a wild beast killer. He excels at killing all manner of wild beast, whether it be Hydra, magical giant Diarmid slaying boars, or even servants that have this trait, such as a certain mischievous single-target Lancer. Utilizing only his own self-buffs, Proto-Hu can easily hit over 120,000 damage against wild beasts with Debug. And by raising his skills even further, this number only grows, making him one of the game's premier hunters. While this overall damage potential is somewhat mitigated by the fact that he lacks class advantage against any beasts that are neither archers nor berserkers, he is still able to put in solid damage numbers, especially post-rank up of Beast Slayer, his third skill, where at level 10 he gets a 100% boost in damage against wild beasts. One final and perhaps more controversial potential role for Proto-Hu is that of a last stand option, mirroring his Fate Stay Night counterpart. Poor Proto-Hu. Will he ever get out of his other version shadow? Probably not. This is almost exclusively granted through his Protection from Arrows skill, providing 3 hits of evade on a 5-turn cooldown. In and of itself it is a useful skill, that not only boosts his survivability, but also allows him to be something of a more independent damage dealer, not requiring other servants to shield him. However, even accounting for his solid damage dealing potential and boss killing Noble Phantasm, he does represent an inferior option to the other Hu, who not only has a gut skill and debuff clear, but much greater single target boss killing potential, which can often be a lifesaver during last stands and challenge quests, or when fighting in particularly challenging content. Chulainn prototype has an almost uniquely tragic fate amongst the servants of Fate's Grand Order. While being a solid critical damage and boss killing servant with a rare and interesting anti-wild beast niche that extends well into the Lost Belts, he will forever be in the shadow of his Fate Stay Night counterpart. But for any masters willing to take a chance on this young hunter, they will be welcoming a solid, capable servant who has much to bring to the table, both in the early game and much later on. I want to thank you everyone for watching. Apologies for the lack of uploads. It's been very busy at the moment. I've recently moved apartment, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's been going on, but thankfully, entering a bit of a quiet period now. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to everyone who subscribed as well. I'm really grateful for everyone, and thanks for watching.